smallholder farmer, and I figured I could just do a quick session this morning. I could just do a quick session this morning and to see how far we can go before life happens and I'm not able to complete the whole session. So yesterday we started a conversation around building wealth as a smallholder farmer. And I think some of the major things I said yesterday was good morning, Biology, good morning, Farmer Unlimited, Farm Unlimited, good morning. Shamason, Mason, good morning. One call, good morning. So yesterday I said it is okay to start small. What is not okay is to remain small. So starting small is not an issue. As a matter of fact, based on context, we always say start small and grow. But what is not right is to remain small. What is not okay is to stay small. So starting small is fine. Staying or remaining small is not okay. And I said there is a system that you must understand when you are starting small, that there are principles responsible for growing. There are principles responsible for growing. And let me say it is, hopefully it helps. I know everybody on this platform has a password for one thing or another, either your email address, your phone, or anything. There is a password you have for it. I know that. Now, this is how you should look at building wealth. How you look at building wealth. Now, imagine I am trying to type my password into my device. Let's assume that the password has 10 alphabets and I am trying to type in my password. Now, you would agree with me that if I get 9, Madam Lebile, good morning, ma. You would agree with me that if I get 9 of the characters out of the 10 characters of the password right, the computer will not say, oh, because you got only 9 out of 10, you have tried, and it will allow me login. You know the computer would not, or whatever I'm trying to log into, will not allow me log into it, right? And that is essentially because I must get every alphabet right, one. I must also get the alphabet right in the order that they appear in the password. So if my password, for example, is ABCD to Z, and I now did ABCD, got to Y, and I put Z before Y, though I have the characters correct, but the mix-up in the characters would ensure that they do not get in, or I cannot get in. The same thing, I must also get the cases right. I must also get the cases right, meaning, am I using capital letter or small letter? And in business, there are things you need to major on, and there are things you need to minor on. In business, there are things you need to major on. So you realize that at times, as a startup, you might get carried away where you are majoring on the minor and you are minoring on the major. And again, like I said, if you are majoring on the minor, that is like using where there's supposed to be capital letter, you are using small letters. Or where there should be small letters, you are using capital letter. At the end, you will not get the desired result regardless of the effort you have put into it. I hope that makes sense. So, as a smallholder farmer yesterday, we talked about the fact that there are principles. So we said, or I said, the first principle you need to understand is the principle of diversification of income. Now, I am not saying diversify into other things. I am saying you must first, number one, under diversification of this thing is understand the value proposition of the crop that you are growing. I said that yesterday. Understand the value proposition of the crop you are growing, because do not spend time growing low value crops. We said that. Do not spend time growing low value crops. Understand what is needed the most with the best profit margin. With the best profit margin. Always put in mind that nobody will pay you for owning a farm. Nobody will come to you and say, hey, you have a farm, take this free money. No. You will only be paid because there is something to sell. And how much you are able to make from your farm depends on what you are selling. I said too, even in your small scale, start thinking of how to process those little things, how to add value. How to add value. That way, whomever is watching your progress, your story, your struggles, they are able to see, oh, what this person is doing feels like there is a big thing that can come out of it, because they are seeing what you are creating from that little farm. Two, I said you must also focus on specialized crops. Specialized crops, I said that yesterday. You must also focus on specialized crops. So, meaning don't just grow crops that the local farmers are growing. Do not go to where everybody is going shoko and tete, and you also come and do shoko and tete, and you are thinking you want to make way more money. No, your revenue most of the time will be the average of what the best earners in that place are earning, because you are in the same thing. So you need to start looking at, oh, what are those things that are the money movers? What are those crops that are not common around here? You can do shoko and tete in the UK, in the US, and be good. But if you want to do shoko and tete in Nigeria, then you must be thinking of a specialized market. So where you do not have specialized crop, look for a specialized market so that you are able to make something out of it. We talked about things like herbs, spices, vegetables, cut flowers, and so on and so forth. Then I also talked about livestock, that in your land, if you are inside a bush farming, look out for the unfarmed land and see what to put in it. In the farmed land, it is easy for you to get an area, what's it called, mapped out, properly protected, that will not cost you too much, with bamboo and barbed wire, and you can have snails growing there. You can have your snails growing there. You can do beekeeping. You are in a bush, you can get some 2, 3, 10 local goats, throw them, put them in a cage, and be feeding them with grasses from around. So you can also do agro-tourism. We said that. So because you are in the bush, set up your farm. Your farm doesn't have to be big for people to be interested to visit. You start realizing that people are looking for farms to visit, places to go, and your farm that you call a bush is an ideal, what's the word? Is an ideal area for people to visit. It's an ideal tourist space. So as they come, they are able to see what you're doing. Most importantly, before you know what is happening, they become another market that you have created. They become a market that you can sell to easily, because they have come there and they say, finally, on that number one, because you have people coming to your farm space, I said the next thing you need to create automatically is now start creating an online platform. Not these ones that people just build apps anyhow. No. Because you are creating a platform so that those your customers that have been to your farm now can buy from your farm easily. And because they have been to your farm physically, they are able to connect and advertise you to their friends, to their colleagues, and those colleagues trust them enough to use your online platform to buy from you. That's number one. Number two, generally, I think I've said that before, but I'll say it again. Focus on quality and high value. Focus on quality and high value. So you see, one of the things that makes Nigeria, like I always tell people, Nigeria is one country that it is easy to make it. Hi, medic farmer, it's easier to make it from Nigeria. Hi, Yemi Bok. And the reason I say that is you realize that a lot of farmers in Nigeria do not grow based on quality. So it means that if I can bring in quality at any level, if I can bring in quality at the simplest basic level, I can make more money from my farm compared to farmers without quality. It can be quality in delivery. It can be quality service, how you talk to the customers on the phone. It can be quality packaging. It can be quality branding. It can be quality, production. Just quality. Just look for an area and bring in quality. I mean, I know for some of us, we live in areas where there is that mama that sells tomatoes on the street. Just imagine you can clean up your tomatoes, not making it look all soggy. People would want to pay more, a little bit higher, despite the fact that your cost of those things are basically the same. So you can focus on quality. You can also focus on quality markets. Why are you struggling and trying to kill yourself in an open market where the locals dominate? What if, just think about it, you are like, hey, you have friends that work in that works in a bank, works in this place, works in that place. What if you tell them, oh yeah, I know normally you buy tomatoes from me as my friend, though, but please, oh bro, I just want to try and get into your company. Can I supply you my tomatoes to where you are? So instead of normally maybe that tomatoes you were supplying them before, that you normally take the tomatoes to their house, just because you want to access quality market, with the permission of your friend, you deliver now the tomatoes to them at work. Because when the tomatoes gets to them at work, people are like, oh wow, see these tomatoes is big, this is that. What then have is, automatically, you now have a lot of people seeing your quality tomatoes. A lot of people now are seeing your quality tomatoes, your quality pepper, your quality whatever you are growing. Quality market, a market that can pay better. Because you see, as a young chap, as a smallholder young chap, you need to understand that the cost of your production is first and foremost higher than the cost of production of the regular traditional farmer. Why do I say that? Number one, most traditional farmers did not go to school. You went to school. And because you went to school, there is already a higher cost of, what's the word now? There is already a higher cost of you being who you are compared to that farmer. There is a higher level of expectation. You are educated, you went to the university, you finished secondary school. The other farmer did not even go to school. So there is already an expectation from us on you. That is number one. Number two is the fact that most of the time, the farmers you are competing with, they got that farm they got their land for free. They inherited the land from their father, their great-grandfather, their great-grand-uncle. You probably went to buy land or lease land, which means from the get-go, you have invested more than they have invested. So you cannot be growing like they are growing and selling like they are selling, then you are running at a loss, even if you think you are profitable. Just a minute. You probably cleared your land with money. They did not use money to clear their land. They used family and friends. You spent money to clear your land. They did not spend money to clear their land. That again is money that you have spent more than them. Also, it is also possible that the seeds that you bought it. They are probably using the seeds that they stored. So you realize that from the get-go, you are spending way more than they spent. And if you are spending way more than they spent, you cannot be focused on just the regular market, because it means that you think you are making profit, but you are already running at a loss. Number two, develop a brand. Develop a brand. Very, very important. Don't just be a farmer for farmer's sake. Develop a brand. Sit down and ask yourself, what do I want this farm to be known for? How do I want people to define my farm, to describe my farm, to talk about my farm? And you see, that is very, very important. And why is it also important that you have a brand? So I'll give an example. Just as an example, if somebody says there are two phones to be sold, and let's say this phone is not a brand, but this is a brand. Now, this is the reality. Because this is not a brand, when it is time to buy the phone, you negotiate the price. And in negotiating the price of that thing that is not a brand, we do not negotiate the value of the thing that is not a brand. Instead, we negotiate the value of the person that is selling that thing. I will say that again. Let me use another example that I hope would make sense. Imagine on your street, there is somebody that is a street urchin, what we usually refer to as agbero, a tout. And let's imagine that in all sincerity, this tout, there was somebody that was trying to attack a rich man, and this tout stepped in and helped the rich man. And because of that, the rich man gave this tout a Rolex wristwatch, original Rolex wristwatch. An original Rolex wristwatch is about 4-5 million naira, at least minimum. So this tout has a wristwatch that is worth 5 million naira, given to him as a gift. And this tout realized, I don't like this wristwatch, I want to go sell them. And this tout came to you. You know that the wristwatch is 5 million naira. You know. Assume you actually have the 5 million naira for the wristwatch. The question is, are you going to happily pay the tout that 5 million naira? The answer is no. Why will you not pay the tout the 5 million naira? In your head, what you are thinking is, why will I give this guy 5 million naira? A whole 5 million naira to this tout, to this agbero? No way. Meaning, you are not pricing the wristwatch, you are actually pricing the person selling the wristwatch, because the person selling the wristwatch is not a brand. So you can devalue what you sell just because you are not a brand. You can devalue what you sell because you are not a brand. So you might be doing everything right, making it the best tomatoes, the best pepper, the best this, the best that, but because you are not a brand, you will automatically devalue what you are selling. Hey, Tading, if Porter Mike is not picking, can you check out other porters? Call any other person. Do you understand what I'm trying to explain? So you need to build a brand, because if you go to a Rolex shop, you are not going to negotiate the price because that place is a brand. So when your farm is not a brand, people will negotiate it. And people will negotiate not the product, but first the person selling the products. So when you are not a brand, you devalue the value of what you are selling, whether it is product or service. Because when you are not a brand, it is you that people are prizing. It is you people are using as the yardstick for what you are selling. So you need to develop a brand. It is of no use, Dr. Milton, good morning, sir. Chinelo, good morning. It is of no use taking so much time and money, spending so much effort, building a good product, and you are not building the brand that will make the product valuable. Let me give an example. I am sure there are some of us that knows one local tailor that is very, very good. Very, very good. But when you look at their life, it is not a life that is enviable, because they are not a brand. Agro Explorer on YouTube, good morning. They are not a brand. And because they are not a brand, what simply happens is people price them down regardless of the value of what they can do. People price them down. People price them anyhow. When they are selling farm produce and people get there, if it is a farmer, people negotiate it anyhow. People will even say, can I buy a whole basket for 10 naira, 100 naira? Because they are not a brand. Number 3 is still under this focus on high quality and value crops. Explore export opportunities, especially as a Nigerian farmer. Explore export opportunities. Almost every young Nigerian farmer that is educated knows somebody that knows somebody abroad. One of the beautiful things about Nigeria immigrants abroad is we do not just go to these countries, we try to bring our food into these countries. And right now, for the past maybe 2-3 years, there has been a movement around Nigerian foods, where even some foreign restaurants fail spectacularly to cook our food, but yet they buy our ingredients. They buy our ingredients. I can't count how many countries I've entered and you see things like our regular sweetener, Maggi cubes and all of that in those countries. You see elubo, and they are very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. And now, you see, there is no greed in this thing. When you are going to start, you are not going to start by probably exporting it by yourself. You might need to start by giving it to those that will help you take it out. Because you are small scale, it means you are not bringing in a lot of volume, which is fine, but you are learning step by step. You are learning step by step. You are doing pap. How can your pap go out of the country? How can your pepper go out of the country? Now you see, it goes back to your ability to process, because it might not be easy to say, it might not be easy. It is almost impossible to say you are transporting the raw as fresh. But if you have been processing, those little processed stuff can go out of the country. Those little things you have processed can go out of the country. And with that, you start earning in foreign currency. You start earning in foreign currencies. Imagine right now, you have a steady revenue of $100 every week. That $100, you realize that you are getting more value for the same energy, more value for the same sacrifice, more value for the same run around, just because you are exploring export opportunities. And to export, you're also again looking at high value crops so that you can make more money. is sending unbranded products like the case of pap, yes, you can also start with unbranded, because it is possible the person you are selling to abroad wants to brand it their name. It is possible. So if the person says send it unbranded, you send unbranded. It's your market that will decide, not you. Bolaji, you are trying to export, is the buyer that will decide whether you should brand or not brand. Number 3 level is leverage technology and marketing. First thing you need to learn how to leverage apps. Leverage apps. Now, I'm not saying all these digital apps for selling, no, because most of them are failing. What apps are available to determine the weather around your farm? What apps can you leverage to determine pests and diseases? To determine proper growth? What are those little things? Your farm does not need to be 1 million hectares before you digitize. It can be one plot and it is digitized. Because when people come to your farm, they are seeing technology at the simple levels. And that allows people to say, wow, see what this person is doing. At the simple level. So it can be things that help you assess weather forecasts, help you get advice about your crop or livestock. You can start using a little bit of digitalization. Just a little bit. You get more money, put a CCTV on the farm. That way, the day you run into a customer, you are talking to the customer, you can say, see, let me show you my farm. The CCTV comes on, you are showing them your farm. You see, they may not be able to, everybody may not be able to come to your farm, but you can bring your farm to the people. And they're able to see, oh, wow. Then you buy the CCTV that you can rotate the camera. They're like, wow. Oh, this is beautiful to see. This is beautiful to see. So you realize that this again is an export opportunity, is a whole opportunity, but there is a whole opportunity that can allow your farm to start growing quickly. Because what can happen then is you are in places where your farm is always in your pockets. Over time, you are able to put in irrigation on that 2 plots, 3 plots. Over time, you are able to digitize your irrigation and put it on your phone using an app. You are talking to somebody and you're like, can you see my farm? Oh, I can even irrigate my farm. The person are usually like, I see now, and they are seeing the camera, they are seeing the water sprinkler. You're like, can you see it? You switch it off. They're like, oh, this is really good. That way, when you are looking for funding, they are seeing that you are understanding how to use digitalization to maximize what you're doing. Mr. David, you've already answered your question. So that again is an opportunity you can explore. So you can be able to use agricultural apps. Next, digitalize your payments. Digitalizing your payment would improve automatically the level of trust customers have. It's not that, oh, I want to buy this. Okay, okay, wait, I'm saying, no. Every time you are sending account number, then the person has to start doing copy, paste. No. Can you over time think of how to digitalize? That it is easy for them to pay you. You cannot, it is even worse if all your business is still based on cash only. No. Make it easy for people to pay you. Create a transparent system of how their produce gets to them. Okay, sir, your product will be going to, you see, these things are simple to build over time. Oh, sir, your product will be going to Ojodu Burger in Lagos. Then the person takes their phone after they've made payment, they can see their product has gotten to the car park. The car has moved, is on its way to them. Oh, the driver has just called you, you also update, car has gotten to Redeem Camp. You see, the person now feels like, oh, I don't need to be calling. There is somebody that has created a system I can monitor. And that works. Next, take advantage of online marketing space. I did not say apps. A lot of you know, you see me marketing my produce online. Market what you are doing online. Market it, let people see what you are doing. Do you understand? Market it, let people start seeing what you are doing. Where we will stop, number 4, access to financial resources. Because I know a lot of people are like, how do you get money? Access to financial resources. You can leverage grants and governmental grants. There are a lot of grants available. The problem is a lot of companies do not have what it takes to access grants. And that is why in July, remember that I said in July we'll be having a class, what I call 5 days with Farmer Sam. We want to ensure that we are able to get farmers to access finance. I want to work with just 10 farmers so that I am able to track their process, track their progress, and be able to say, okay, you worked with me within a year, the 10 of you were able to get minimum $500 million. The 10 of you. Which means we are not looking for people who have not even figured out what they want to do. Because there is a structure that you must set up. There is a structure that you must set up that allows you to be funded by grant. What's your perception on dehydrated vegetable market in Nigeria? There is a market. People buy, there is a market for snake. How much more vegetables or the dehydrated version? There is a market for snake. There is a market for tortoise. It's a question of, do you have access to that market? That's the key question. So, do you have a right structure to access or to attract such funding? Are you set up to attract such funding? Because it is not inshallah, it's not just about prayer and declaration. If you do not have the right structure in place, you will not get such funding. Yes, you can be part of the farmers. Salia is a paid class. Is a paid class. Is a paid class. It's not a class. Is not free. It's going to be a paid class. You can be anybody but 10 farmers. It's a paid class. In July, I want to be able to help farmers access funding. To be able to say, okay, because I hear a lot of farmers say, oh, there is no money. And the question is, why do they need to access funding to build wealth? You see, you cannot use your money alone to build wealth except you came from money. At some point, you need access to other people's money to build wealth. But you do not need money that is going to choke you. Not the one that you say, I am looking for 1 million naira, 2 million naira. Those are not the kind of money you need to build wealth. No. You are looking for 1 million naira, 2 million naira, 5 million naira. Those are money for you to learn to know how to manage funding. Because 2 key things are needed for the kind of money you need to build wealth. Number 1 is the interest rate needs to be low. Either low interest rate or zero interest rate where possible. 2, you must have enough time to build with the money. Of what use is money that you are getting in January and they tell you to start paying back in February? There must be enough moratorium. You probably need 3 years, 4 years, 5 years to finish paying back so that you are able to diligently actually multiply that funding. Those are the kind of fundings we are referring to. Not, oh, you need 1M. No. That's not the kind of funding. Which means I am looking at people whose businesses can attract minimum 20 to 50 million, minimum. That you can say, okay, I need this kind of funding, and we are able to prepare your business to be able to attract and accept. Remember in the past, I taught us that the fact that you need money does not mean your business qualifies to receive money. The fact that you are broke is true, but it does not mean your business qualifies to take money. No. That you are broke could be true, but you are still not qualified to take money. That is why at times when you apply to banks and say you need loan, what they are trying to check is, are you qualified to be funded? Does your business have a structure to be funded? The second place you are able to, because I'm trying to show you where we are going to get these monies from. The first place we will look at grants, we will look at government programs, and we will see business that we can structure to access such funding. Two, we will look at funding from cooperatives. Think about it. How many cooperatives do you know around you? All of these cooperatives, how do they get the profit they pay back? It is because they are able to put this money into places that can return money. And you know that cooperative interest rates to their members is not high, right? So they are looking for, so you realize that for cooperatives, what is most important to a cooperative society is your business will not crumble. They will not lose their capital. For cooperatives, when you are able to understand, you can get access to cooperative funding. I have worked with them in the past. Some of my guys are still working with them, where you are able to access good money at low interest rates for long term. But there are criteria your business needs to meet for cooperatives to give you funding. These are the things we want to look at. These are the things we want to look at. Are we still together? Number 3 is microfinance institutions. Microfinance institutions. You can get funding from microfinance. Nobody is thinking, Farmer Sam, the microfinance banks that I know, those ones are a killing, no? Yes, they are a killing because they are taking too much risk on your business. Your business is not risk averse. I know that a lot of microfinance banks, they collect money from private investors to give out as loan. I can tell you that for free, most of them. And this, what's it called? Private investors, they have different risk appetites. Different risk appetite. When they see a business that is truly, truly well-structured, then it is easier for them to find a way to fund it. And you are able to negotiate. You see, because lenders are looking for people they can grow with. They are looking for secured spaces that they can grow with. And if they look at the structure of your business and it looks like that, you can get good funding because they can grow with you. You will get good funding because they can grow with you. They can grow with you. So, but there is a structure that you must have. I mean, I don't want to call names, but I know a lot of, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, one of our, one of the fellowships I belong to, Cascador, gave out over 6 billion naira. Over 6 billion naira. But you see, the businesses that qualified had to be properly scrutinized, to have proper systems in place. To have proper systems in place. Proper systems. Then number 4 is through savings and investment. We will also teach you how to save and invest what you are getting. Because one of the biggest issues I've seen with smallholder farmers is they do not know that all your profit is not your company's own. You need to start thinking of how to put your money into other things that works for you. I will take a few questions and round up at this point. Do I have mentorship special mentorship program for young startup farmers? The answer is no. I only have mentorship system available for the farmers that we trained, not for people that I meet online. So no for people I meet online. But if you are one of those that have passed through our training, you will know that we have what we call business coaches. whose job is to sit and help you monitor the growth, strategize with you so your business can grow as a startup. And we do that for free for small businesses that we help set up for 9 months. So another person said, can we learn hygienic food processing this from Soilless Farm Lab? Yes, you can, at a cost. At a cost. Somebody is asking, how much is the training, the 5 days with Farmer Sam? Is 500,000 naira. It's just 500,000 naira. Let me see. How much is that in dollars? Assuming 1.5 to $1. I'm trying to look for calculator. Sorry, I'm trying to look for a calculator to use. I don't even know where calculator is on this phone. But it's just 500,000 naira. That's about 330. You just apply, say you want to, you can send a mail, you can send that you want to be part of the training 5 days with Farmer Sam. Again, it is 500,000 naira. It is 500,000 naira for you to be part of that class. 500,000 naira. 5 days. And of course, the fact that you apply does not mean you will get in. $333, yes, does not mean you will get in, because if you apply, there are documentations that we ask for. If you do not have those sorts of documentation, you will not be accepted into the class, so you will not even get to make payments. We need to be sure that you have some of the basics covered before we can allow you into the training, so that in a year we are able to see what we have been able to grow and do together. We are not just doing it for the sake of, oh, we are bored, let people come together. No, we want to have impact. If you ask some of the young people on the farm with us today, they can tell you how much they have grown. They can tell you how much they have grown on their own by being in the system. So it's a system that has worked. It's a system that we have tried again and again, and we know how to generate impact. So now we want to give it to people outside our system. So thank you and have a great weekend. Good morning. Morning, good morning, good morning.